So he finally found him, and he asked him, he said, "What are you doing? Where did you do yesterday in the previous month?" And the man couldn't answer. Oh, is all I got to say.
I wonder where the check was going.
Oh, they paid him.
But that's what I mean.
But they paid him the whole time. Yeah, well, it's probably direct deposit over there. Maybe put him gold and silver, I don't know. But they got a judgment against him for the maximum amount that they could, which was 1 year's salary, which was $30,000. You got 14th, and he's trying to beat the system, and he's opposing them again. He's trying to get the money back. He didn't want to pay the $30,000 back.
It's like a movie or something. Yeah. Wow.
It's a movie. Right? Okay. In Texas, this is a good one. In Texas, there is East Texas, actually. I'm glad it's not Florida. Usually it was Florida.
Yeah, usually.
There's a produce guy who used to have a sign on the back of his truck for people go by and see the sign and everything. So he was spelling out all of his things that he had. Zucchini, Zookeene. Potato, tater, Tater. Tomato, mater, Mater. Jalapeno was Hallopinyo. Bell pepper was Bailpepper. And my favorite was peach, Peepeech. And of course, the long and forgotten okra was Oakre.
Well, at least it went Florida. That makes me feel better.
All I got to say is, I bet he sold a lot of jalapenos because everybody had to stop and say, "What is that?"
Go fail it.
Y'all have a great week.
The opinions you hear on Biz Talk Radio are those of the hosts, callers, and guests, and do not necessarily reflect those of this station, Biz Talk Radio, its management, or advertisers. The information on Biz Talk Radio does not constitute a recommendation, offer, or solicitation to buy or sell any product or securities. Please consult a professional before investing. If you have any questions about Biz Talk Radio, contact us at 817-274-1609 or at biztalkradio.com.
Virtual colonoscopy, visit radiologyinfo.org.
p.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. This is the home of San Diego sports. KLSD-AM and KGB-FM HD2. And now K277-DH. Fox Sports trending now.
In the NBA playoffs Friday night, the New Orleans Pelicans trounced the world champion Warriors 119-100 by Anthony Davis's 33 points and 18 rebounds and Rajon Rondo's 21 assists. Golden State still leads the series 2-1. The Houston Rockets went up 2-1 on the Jazz with a 113-92 Game 3 victory at Utah as James Harden and Eric Gordon scored 25 points apiece. And an amazing Friday night in Major League Baseball as Dodgers rookie Walker Buehler and 3 relievers combined for a no-hitter in a 4-0 win over the Padres at Monterrey, Mexico, while the Angels' Albert Pujols got his 3,000th career hit in a 5-0 victory at Seattle. I'm Isaac Lowenkron.
We are Baltimore.
Woo!
Now here's something we hope you really like.
This is The Big Lead with Jason McIntyre.
There are some decent storylines this weekend.
The Big Lead.
What are you talking about? Where is the focus?
With Jason McIntyre.
Don't yell at me through the radio.
That's what I thought. Shut up. The Big Lead is now. Do you understand? Live from the Geico Fox Sports Radio studios. Here's your host, Jason McIntyre.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Hour number 2 here on the Big Lead, Fox Sports Radio. I am your fearless leader, Jason McIntyre, coming to you live from the Geico Fox Sports Radio studios. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote. It was an ugly night in the NBA last night. Boy, 2 blowouts. 2 almost unwatchable games. I said I changed it at halftime from Jazz Rockets when the Jazz were down 30, and I started watching Back to the Future for the 73rd time. We got 2 games today, although I don't even know if we're going to have to count Raptors Cavs. Now, our guest coming up here in a second, NBA champ Caron Butler, I've worked with him over at FS1. Good guy, knows his stuff. He likes to chop it up, and we'll do that in a second. But I want to take a moment to just quickly remind everybody that I will never, ever discuss the Toronto Raptors on this show again. Those frauds north of the border do this every year. And I fell for those choking dogs this year. I thought, man.
That he was away from the murder scene watching TV with his brothers.
This is USA Radio News.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers' rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-509-TERM. 866-509-TERM. 866-509-TERM.
The wife of a famous comedian who's been convicted of sexual assault has made the decision to stand by her man. USA's Chris Barnes explains.
A week after Bill Cosby's convicted of aggravated indecent assault, his wife Camille issues a statement in which she calls for a criminal investigation into, quote, the district attorney and his cohorts in her husband's case. She calls them a, quote, homogenous group of exploitive and corrupt people whose primary purpose is to advance themselves professionally and economically. And she also takes aim at the media for what she calls its relentless demonization of her husband. For USA Radio News, I'm Chris Barnes.
It was a solemn occasion as Secretary of State Mike Pompeo spoke at a memorial service at the American Foreign Service Association. The ceremony honored the latest two Americans who gave their lives while servicing our nation overseas. John Clemens reports.
Secretary Pompeo added the names of Michael Andrew Cameron, who was killed in South Sudan, and the name of Selena Nelson Salcedo, who was killed in Slovakia. He then spoke about his safety standards.
I always stop and ask the question, would I be comfortable placing my own family in this situation? That's the standard for evaluating how well we are doing for our people and how well we are doing in keeping them and their families safe. If the conditions aren't good enough for the Pompeo family, we will fix it.
I'm John Clemens.
For USA Radio News, I'm Wendy King.
If you're over the age of 50 and considering buying an annuity in the next 60 days, I have some important news for you. Don't buy an annuity until you understand the pros and cons of annuities. A free book to help you maximize your retirement income from television host and three-time author Josh Melberg has been released. This book reveals little-known truths about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms. Grab a pen right now because we are about to offer you this free book that unlocks the 5 little-known secrets we believe baby boomers and seniors should know before buying an annuity. Call 800-935-0752 now and you'll receive a free copy of Josh Melberg's book, Next Gen Annuity Strategies Revealed. As a bonus, we'll also send you a copy of The #1 Mistakes Retirees Are Making with Their Investments Today and a free DVD on how you can get up to 33% more income in retirement. Call 800-935-0752. That's 800-935-0752. Employees of J.D. Melberg Financial have the appropriate licenses for the products they offer.
Welcome to the Garden America Show, the country's most listened to gardening program. This is your chance to join us as we talk about gardening, horticulture, landscaping, in fact, anything that has to do with the world of gardening. The phone lines are open right now at 1-855-424-9825. That's 1-855-424-9825 for your questions and comments. Or John at gardenamerica.com. And if you're watching us on Facebook Live, you can also post your questions and comments right there on our page during the broadcast. Now, here's Bryan Main, John Bagnasco, and Tiger Palafox on the Garden America Radio and Media Network.
It is a very confusing morning for John Bagnasco. Good morning. We do know that this is Garden America. I'm Bryan Main. Welcome to your Saturday morning. Along with Tiger Palafox, John Bagnasco. Welcome, Facebook Live viewers. Those listening to us in San Diego on AM 1240. Later on this afternoon, AM 740 in Los Angeles. And the rest of you streaming Biz Talk Radio, however you're listening to us. And, of course, we've got those podcasts up and ready to go. In fact, after the show, recording another podcast, Spring Vegetables. Roses, everything you need to know about roses has been posted. We are ready to go. It is a Saturday morning. With that, I give you John Bagnasco.
You know, this week we went from winter in San Diego to summer.
We went, to 90 degrees in 24 hours,
Yeah.
it seems like.
Plants respond to that in different ways. Plants that are tender, that have been used to being under kind of cool temperatures, when they get blasted with 90 degrees, you can get sunburn real easy.
Well, it's one thing for the weather to gradually warm up because I think
but when it happens overnight.
Well, just like I like your analogy. You've been inside all winter. You decide to go outside the first sunny day, go to the beach, and you get a sunburn. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Flowers, though, on some plants like roses, they just burn.
Yeah.
All the flower buds that opened under the cool temperatures, when you put
Mm-hmm.
90 degrees on them, you go out there and they're burned. There's nothing you can really do about it. Now, the new ones that open up under the heat will be fine because, as you were just
they're
saying,
used
they're
to that.
used to that.
Right.
Right.
So, with that, in your travels, Tiger, what are you seeing?
Well, same thing. And it's funny that we mentioned that this morning because I had a customer in this weekend. I went to I got a funny story later on in the show about a customer I went to for their lawn later on today, or later on in the show. But a customer this weekend, I had a Facebook posting of a tomato plant, and then Bryan brought in a picture of a friend's clivias.
Yeah, you're right.
And they all were burned. And these are all plants that are in the sun. They're where they were before. It's not like people moved them all.
Yeah, those clivies have been there for a while.
Exactly, and it's just the change in the season now brings us on. And since we have such a sharp change, we go from winter to summer so quickly.
Yeah.
The plants need to adapt. They'll recover. They'll be fine. A lot of these plants are hardy like that, but they're just showing the stress and the damage.
So those
now.
pictures that I showed you, if she just left them there, I mean,
they've been there forever.
No. Those will always burn.
Yeah, those will
they'll burn every year, but
I'm
going
to find out exactly where she has them planted and how much sun they're getting as well.
Sometimes people will cut down a tree that's providing shade, and then all of a sudden plants that were in the shade are in the sun. Clivia, though, really will not tolerate the sun at all.
Okay. Well, that's good news.
Probably one of the most shade-needy plants. And then also, we're here in San Diego. Southern California has a dry atmosphere. If you were in Florida, where you might have the same type temperatures,
you're going to get humidity.
But 95% humidity, it's a lot easier on the plants.
Well, that makes sense. So we are ready to go for 2 hours here, Facebook Live. Welcome. And again, 855-424-9825. Want to pick up the phone, give us a call. John at Garden America. The most popular way over the past several months seems to be on Facebook Live with your questions and comments. We monitor those throughout the show. So ask your questions, make your comments, and we'll answer you probably almost immediately.
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
You know what's interesting? They don't celebrate Cinco de Mayo in Mexico as much as we do here.
No.
And people think that it was their independence when it was actually it was a war they won, right, John? Cinco de Mayo.
It was a battle.
Would you ask me?
It was
the Battle of Pueblo, right?
Yeah, it was a battle. It would be like us celebrating the. It is about as big as like a Gettysburg, kind of a thing, like a battle. But it'd be us having a holiday just for Gettysburg, not our independence,
right? Exactly.
Like that. Just like, it's the Battle of Gettysburg,
and that's where people get confused.
Holiday.
They think, Mexican independence. It has nothing to do with that. And I can guarantee there's a lot more celebrations in this country than there is in Mexico. Probably the same thing with St. Patrick's Day here compared to Ireland. But that said, happy Cinco de Mayo, however you want to celebrate it. Glad you're spending part of your time with us here on Garden America. It's going to be a great show. And again, do want to remind you on that newsletter, John has put the link at the bottom of that newsletter, so you can click that link and go directly to our podcasts, which are about a half hour long. And those podcasts contain, or I should say revolve around one topic only. We discuss it. Last couple of weeks, roses. Today is going to be spring vegetables, and I will post that podcast on Monday.
Tiger gave me his computer so I could take a look at the quote of the week.
So you can take a look. Just look at it, John, please.
As I recall, it's a rather long quote.
It's not that long. It was kind of an interesting quote. It was from Henry Mitchell, who is...
Henry Wadsworth Mitchell?
No. This is Dennis's dad.
That's good.
He said, by the time one is 80, it said, there's no longer a tug-of-war in the garden with May flowers hauling like mad against the claims of the other months. At last, all is in balance and serene. The gardener's usually dead, of course.
Oh, wow. Where do you find these quotes anyway?
I don't know.
You have a book.
10 more years, and that's me.
You got a special book, don't you, of quotes?
No, I run into quotes.
You have your ways.
I do have my
All right.
ways.
So what
How's
else
your
is going
pot
on?
carnations doing?
My carnations are doing okay. They're not growing very fast.
Well, they're really small.
Do they want a lot of sun?
Dwarf plants.
Do they want a lot of sun?
Oh, full sun.
Full sun. I will tell you this. The tomatoes, the dwarf tomatoes, you can probably just sit there and actually watch them grow.
Oh, really?
Yo, they're big. Yeah, they're getting big quickly.
We should be getting flowers pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm hoping for. And carnations, yeah, they're small. They're eking along. But you know what it is? My patio this time of the year, obviously as we get into summer, I will have more and more direct sunlight in the patio. They may not be getting enough sun right now.
Yeah, they like the sun. I would say that almost every order we've sent out on carnations has had plants in bud.
Yeah.
When are you gonna thank me for this popularity this resurgence of carnations that I've given you? You don't like that, do you? Nobody wants carnations. They don't grow.
We don't need to go into this now. That's not the way it went.
I know. I'm just giving you a hard time. We talked about why carnations were hard to grow because of the stems. Do we?
Yeah.
You trying to? Well, no. Why? You want to get out of this real quick and change the topic?
No, I thought that our good friend Joel Ross was going to call in this morning.
Oh, let me check and see here.
You know, Tiger, we got an email from Steve in Simi Valley. And last week we were talking about things that we saw that were blooming. And you were mentioning some of the things that you saw blooming out. And he said one thing that you forgot to mention was lilacs.
Oh, yeah.
And
he sent us a picture, which I posted.
Right, and I put it in the newsletter this week, too. But lilacs, even in Southern California, are blooming.
Yeah.
Boy, when I went to England, the lilacs that I saw there, I never realized lilacs got so big. The flowers were just huge.
How about the fragrance?
Yeah, they smell really good.
Really
too.
good, yeah. That's what
You
Steve
like
said.
That lilac scent.
So, Steve, we've got you on the newsletter. We've also got you on our Facebook page. And we encourage people, send us your pictures, whatever's growing, whatever you got going on in your yard. Maybe it's a critter, a bear, who knows, a mountain lion took a dip in your pool. We'd like to see that, too. Well, you'd be surprised.
That would be amazing.
Where some of
I
these
would like
people
to see
live.
that.
You know, where they live, where there are bears and mountain lions that get into
We have
their
had listeners
neck of the woods.
send us pictures of mountain lions in their backyard.
Yeah. So we encourage that. Send us your pictures, John at GardenAmerica.com. What else? We've got 15 minutes after the hour. Melinda, I believe, is locked in. Joel Ross has not called in yet, though, John.
So
we will await his phone
call. We'll see if
call
he doesn't call in, then
as well.
I'll tell you about what he was going to tell us about.
Okay. What else do we want to cover here before we take a break? Melinda's standing by.
Well, just to let our listeners know what Melinda's going to be joining us for is spring container gardening. Right now is the time of year when people are having parties or getting ready to have parties. And if you go into the nurseries, you're seeing all of those colors with different perennials and annuals. And so we're going to talk about how to combine them, how to plant them in containers, and then how to get them to last through the whole season. And as I was cruising through the nursery yesterday, one of the things that I was really excited about when it came to flowers was, if I believe I'm pronouncing this right, Calibrachoa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Calibrachoa.
Well, so it's like tomato. Some people call it, I don't know, different names. But million bells or what else do they call them? Million bells, Calibrachoa, and then there's another name for it. But so many varieties of colors and new varieties coming out with those, with stripes, with faded colors, bright pinks, reds, yellows, purples, all kinds of wonderful stuff. And they're great for those combination pots that you want to do, or hanging baskets as well. So
I think Melinda's also going to give us, along the same line of potting up containers, ideas for other containers. That you
Outstanding.
Pot up something from other.
Melinda is next after the break. We've got these words to listen to, our great sponsors here on Big Radio, Facebook Live, and the Garden America Radio Network. Again, 855-424-9825. Questions for Melinda or us. You can also email John at GardenAmerica.com. Better yet, right there on Facebook Live. As we step aside, taking a break, Bryan, Maine, on this Saturday morning, Tiger Palafox, John Bagnasco, welcome to Garden America.
Battling bugs inside and out? Then it's time to get more from Bayer Advanced and Lowe's Home Improvement stores. Now you can buy Bayer Advanced Complete Brand Insect Killer for soil and turf and get a free bottle of Bayer Advanced Home Pest Plus Germ Killer, a $9 value. Complete works outside on your lawn, eliminating surface insects, including mosquitoes, in 24 hours and soil insects for up to 3 months. While Home Pest Plus Germ Killer handles the bugs inside your home. Lowe's and Bayer Advanced. Get more from the blue bottle. Always read and follow label instructions.
Hi, this is gardening expert Melinda Myers. Keeping the environment in mind, I recommend Milorganite slow-release nitrogen fertilizer for all your growing needs. From plants to people, active growth requires energy, nutrients, and a balanced diet. Nutrient-rich Milorganite feeds the soil and plants for up to 10 weeks. The non-burning, non-leaching formula provides a slow and consistent flow of nutrients. Trust the fertilizer, proven effective for over 90 years. Milorganite for better results. Visit Milorganite.com for a garden center near you.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-569-3414. That's 800-569-3414. Again, 800-569-3414.
Reason number 12 why you should own a ThermoSpa's hot tub? They require no attachment to your home's plumbing. Thanks to the ThermoSpa's unique built-in thermofiltration system that filters the water an incredible 144 times a day, you simply fill it with a garden hose and your water stays crystal clear with very little maintenance. Call to receive a free DVD and brochure and find out how you can own a ThermoSpa's hot tub for only a few dollars a day. Right now, they're offering 0% APR financing with approved credit and a $1,000 savings coupon, including free delivery, free chemicals, and a cash discount. And with models starting at $4,995, there will never be a better time to own a ThermoSpa's hot tub. So call now and ask about this limited time offer. Call ThermoSpa's today at 800-956-7183 for your free DVD and brochure. That's 800-956-7183. ThermoSpa's, hot tubs designed to improve your life. Call 800-956-7183 today to take advantage of 0% APR financing.
Does your water stain and damage your fixtures? Does it smell or taste bad? Are you worried about what's in your water? Water quality should not be painful and worrisome. Get HydroCare water systems from Wave Home Solutions with the most advanced purification technologies. Call Wave Home Solutions today at 1-888-989-WAVE or go to greathealthywater.com. HydroCare will eliminate limescale that causes hundreds of dollars in damage to pipes and appliances without using salt. Well water will no longer smell or stain your fixtures. City water will be purified of harmful chlorine, lead, arsenic, and chemicals. Wave Home Solutions provides the cleanest, healthiest water at every faucet. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, call 1-888-989-WAVE, 1-888-989-WAVE, or go to greathealthywater.com. That's greathealthywater.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
Biz Talk Radio.
Welcome back to the Garden America radio show with Bryan, John, and Tiger. The phone lines are open right now at 855-424-9825. That's 855-424-9825. Or John at gardenamerica.com.
It is Garden America for this Saturday morning. Thank you so much for spending part of your weekend with us. Happy Cinco de Mayo, as Tiger reminded us. It is 21 minutes after the hour. Got the quote out of the way. John at gardenamerica.com. Questions, comments on Facebook Live. Melinda Myers, our good friend Tiger, standing by, ready to go. Let's do some chit-chatting, shall we?
All right. So this morning we're going to have Melinda chatting with us about container gardens. And as John had mentioned, Mother's Day is right around the corner. So why not do a wonderful container for
and kill two birds with one stone?
What? Your satisfaction in gardening and then giving your mother a present?
Well, no, you can take care of your mother and you can put something out there on the patio and do it all at once.
Yeah. Melinda, good morning.
Good morning.
And you're absolutely right. Give Mom a gift that keeps giving. And my mom was not a gardener. It was my dad. My mom liked to look at the garden, so I'd always consult with my father about what he was willing to grow if I gave a gift of a plant. So he got his gardening fix. My mom thought we were both heroes. And as I told my daughter, you always need points with your parents no matter how old you are.
That's true.
That is the truth.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, well.
And
go ahead.
I was just going to say, Tiger, too, you mentioned calibrachoas, and the National Garden Bureau, it's one of their year of plants is calibrachoa for exactly the reasons you mentioned. Easy care, beautiful, lots of new varieties out there. And, if your mom is a reluctant gardener or you are, a basket of Million Bells, calibrachoa is a great gift because it's low maintenance, easy care. It'll bloom all season for you and just give you great, great payback for your investment.
Yeah, one of my favorite ones that's out there right now, I think it's about 3, maybe 4 seasons old, is Lemon Slice. It's a white and the yellow kind of striped one.
That's one of my favorite too, and you're right. I probably put some of those in a container. You can get a whole basket of them or mix them in with other plants because of the small size flowers. They're showy, but they don't overwhelm a planter if you want to mix them with others, and that is a beauty.
Yeah. You know what I don't understand about calibrachoa? Actually, it's about breeders. Is they've been breeding calibrachoa to have larger and larger flowers.
Yeah, I know, that is funny.
So they look almost like petunias, and they've been breeding petunias to have smaller and smaller flowers, so they look like calibrachoa.
Because you have supertunias, which are basically like a giant calibrachoa. And then you have the calibrachoas, and you're right. There are some that they're breeding that have very large flowers, and it's very hard to tell the difference between a petunia and a calibrachoa.
So I guess we're going to meet.
A lot of it does wilt. Meaning, if it's not getting enough water, it'll show it. It'll wilt. But they actually handle the heat compared to even a petunia really well. And, for a lot of people across the country, that's one of the biggest things that they need to consider is when they're doing a container garden is putting in complementary plants that take all the same requirements, whether it's sunlight or water or anything. So what are your notes on putting together your proper containers, Melinda?
Well, one of the things when I lived in the city with very limited space, I wanted to grow everything. And I love mixing edibles, herbs, and vegetables with flowers. Now, granted, if you put a tomato in with a few herbs and flowers, you'll have less production, fewer tomatoes to harvest, but you get everything in one pot. If you just planted a tomato in a container by itself, it's not competing with any neighbors in that container, you'll have more tomatoes. So, one thing you may want to do is decide, okay, I want it all, and I have room for just a couple pots, so I'm going to mix them up. Or maybe you plant your tomato in a pot, your herbs in another one, your flowers in another one, but group them together so it's a garden of containers, and they each have their own container, but it appears more like an in-ground garden with some variety of texture and flavors and color. And then I like to do seasonal changes, even though I've got a much shorter season than you guys. Pansies and stocks that take the cool temperatures, Swiss chard and kale in the spring, and leafy lettuce, and then change it out when the temperatures, start warming up for us. It sounds like it's already happened for you. And
yesterday.
And then we
it happened
can change
yesterday.
it out. Yesterday.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so you can have 3 or 4 seasons depending on where you live by just changing one or all of the plants in that container.
And when you mentioned edibles, there are so many plants out there that are edible that are just striking. And one, it's funny because right now as we're talking, we had someone on the radio, I think it was a few weeks ago, named Bree Arthur, who is a foodscape kind of designer, and she's having actually open house where she's at right now with the foodscape design elements. But Swiss chard, if you get the variety Bright Lights, it's a combination of yellows, oranges, and reds. You put that in a pot with some flowers, just striking, because you're getting the colors from the chard, and it's very vibrant, deep green leaves with all those colors in it. Put it with, some of your favorite flowers into a container, and it's almost like it's not even an edible thing. It's you're using it more for beautification.
You bet. One of my favorite combinations is Bright Light Swiss Chard as my vertical accent, a few pansies, which are edible, and then some colorful leafy lettuce, freckles or red sails. And I used to put that on my front porch, and my neighbor in the city came over in the fall, and she goes, you can eat that. And I said, yeah, I know. And she goes, no, really, you can eat that. And I said, well, do you want some? She goes, oh, that would be great. And the next day I come home,
it's all cut down.
Harvested the whole pot.
Oh, no.
And so the next spring I gave her her own container, potting mix and plants, and said, you can eat that. Now, but for those maybe new at doing edibles, if you harvest the outer leaves of that Swiss chard when it's 8 to 10 inches, it'll keep producing leafy lettuce, the outer leaves when it's 4 to 5 inches. And regular harvesting not only increases productivity, but when you're looking at creating a flavorful landscape or an edible landscape, harvesting helps keep the plants looking good as well, because that's part of what you want to achieve is, ratty-looking vegetables or flowers, it's not going to be a pretty landscape, and regular harvesting will benefit you in many ways and keep things looking good.
And now when you're talking about putting these containers together, what are some notes you have for people that are, when it comes to the container itself? Meaning, there's all these Pinterest ideas out there, and they show off on the internet really well that they use this old wheelbarrow to do this wonderful design. But then people don't put holes in the wheelbarrow, and all the plants die because it's a boggy mess. Do you have any, notes for people when it comes to the containers themselves?
Oh, you bet. And you really hit the nail on the head, Tiger, is drainage holes. Even if you could water perfectly, nature has a different idea about it. So if you are recycling something or even buying a container, make sure it has drainage holes.
Hey, Melinda, we got to take a break. Hold on to that thought.
Okay.
Drainage holes, make sure you've got drainage holes. And I'm sure there's going to be more after that. We're going to take a break. We've got some messages coming your way from our sponsors. Again, 858-424-9825. Also, john@gardenamerica.com. Facebook Live, questions, comments. Coming back with Melinda Myers on your Saturday morning here from Garden America.
Want a better looking lawn with less effort? Husqvarna's robotic automower is the effortless way to mow. Husqvarna's intelligent design allows the automower to maneuver around your lawn without supervision, even over tricky terrain and around obstacles. It knows when it needs to be charged and directs itself back to the charging dock. With convenient control options, the Husqvarna allows you to set it and forget it, even from your smartphone. Thanks to Husqvarna, you can have a great looking lawn and more time to enjoy it this season. Visit Mission Hills Nursery at 1525 Fort Stockton Drive in San Diego, or go to missionhillsnursery.com for more info.
Do you want to take the great shows of Biz Talk Radio wherever you go? Well, now you can with the new Biz Talk Radio app for iPhone and Android devices. Now, all the great shows of Biz Talk Radio are with you wherever you go, just an arm's reach away on your smartphone. Download today at the App Store or the Google Play Store and get the brand new Biz Talk Radio app. It's Biz for you wherever you go with the new Biz Talk Radio app.
This alert just came in. This special announcement is for business owners and leaders of organizations who've been waiting for the right time to build. General Steel has made it impossible to wait any longer with rock-bottom prices that could save you thousands. That's right, General Steel, America's leader in pre-engineered structures, is offering buildings at prices you will never see again. Don't miss these prices. A 50 by 100 for under $30,000. You heard right. That's 5,000 square feet under $30,000. Manufacturers, if you need a larger building, try a 100 by 100 commercial building for $129,000. You can't afford to rent with these prices. Imagine a 70 by 100 foot church building for under $69,000. With the economy improving and interest rates still at historic lows, you can't afford to wait.
Call 800-605-5370. 800-605-5370. Call 800-605-5370.
My computer is so slow, it's making me crazy.
I used to have that problem.
Did you quit using a computer, or did you buy a new one?
No, I called Geeks On Site. They made an appointment to visit my home and showed up the same day.
You mean they didn't ask you to bring your computer to a shop? That's what happened when I called a support company.
Geeks On Site can go to your home or business or even repair your computer online. They have 24/7 emergency service.
If you are having problems with your PC or Mac, call Geeks On Site, 1-800-591-1682. Our friendly certified computer repair experts are available 24/7. Call now for a free diagnosis, 1-800-591-1682. Data recovery, virus removal, and maintenance for all laptops, desktops, printers, and networks. That's Geeks On Site for friendly certified computer repair experts, available 24/7 over the phone or in your home or business. Just call 1-800-591-1682. That's 1-800-591-1682, 1-800-591-1682.
Do you owe $10,000 or more on at least 2 federal student loans? Then you may qualify for new programs offered by the Department of Education. These programs can reduce your interest, lower your payments, and possibly qualify you for loan forgiveness. If you have $10,000 or more and at least 2 federal student loans and currently not in school, you may qualify for one of these programs. Call now to check your eligibility. Student loan advisors are standing by to help you determine if you qualify for these new programs. They can help you reduce your interest, lower your payment, and even forgive a portion of your student loan debt. Take control of your financial future. Make this free 5-minute free call now to Nationwide Student Loans and learn how you can reduce your student loan debt.
800-439-1588, 800-439-1588, 800-439-1588, 800-439-1588.
National Funding Group has just released $100 million in easy access small business funding to businesses that gross at least $100,000 a year. You can have fast access up to $500,000 in new business capital in as little as 48 hours. Think about the ways you could grow your business if you had up to a $500,000 cash infusion. Call a NFG funding expert now. The process is easy. It only takes about 5 minutes. Then our management-owned lending team looks at your application for a fast approval. You can get 100% funded in about 2 days. If you need up to $500,000 in working capital to run your business and you gross at least $100,000 a year, call NFG and apply today. 800-296-1564. 800-296-1564. 800-296-1564. That's 800-296-1564.
Biz Talk Radio.
Welcome back to the Garden America Radio Show with Bryan, John, and Tiger. The phone lines are open right now at 855-424-9825. That's 855-424-9825 or johngardenamerica.com.
It is that time of the year, things warming up. Got to be thinking about your garden. We are back, and this is what we do. Our goal is to save your garden or make it even better than it already is. Bryan, Maine, Tiger, Palafox, John Bagnasco. This is Garden America, 855-424-9825. Biz Talk Radio, John at gardenamerica.com. Facebook Live, questions, comments. As we continue with Melinda Myers, and she was talking about drainage right before the break.
Yeah, before the break, we were mentioning the containers
It sounded
that
odd.
people
She was
can
talking
plant
about
in.
drainage.
That people can plant their combination colors or vegetables or whatever they would like in. And there's so many ideas out there on the internet nowadays, but people need to consider a couple things. And she was mentioning the primary thing is drainage.
Right.
What are some other things that people need to consider, Melinda?
You know what, and then just to follow up on that, let's say you have a family heirloom and you don't want to drill holes in it. You may want to do what's called double potting. Put some gravel in the bottom, then plant your plants in like an old nursery pot or something slightly smaller and set it inside that pretty pot if you don't want to drill any drainage holes. Then if the bottom fills up with water, pour it off. You can just lift the plants out, pour it off, put that inner pot back in. A good quality potting mix. And, you know, I do a lot of containers like you guys, and finding a brand that works for you, that holds the moisture yet drains well. And then for me, consistency, so that every container that potting mix is going to really work the same, in terms of drying out and holding nutrients. And then, of course, Milorganite, because I'm a low input gardener, and so if I add Milorganite when I plant my containers, I get 6 to 8 weeks of benefit. So as the microorganisms release those nutrients, slowly feeds the plant. So you get good, even above and below ground growth. You don't interfere with flowering, and I don't have to mix stuff up and water it every week because I'll put that off, and then my containers look bad, and I've waited too long. And so, depending on where you live, you may need to do it every 6 weeks or maybe 8 weeks, and depending on how many plants you put in that container, too, and how often you're watering. But it gives you good 6 to 8 weeks of nutrients for those plants. It keeps your containers looking good. You do it when you plant in mid-season or 6 or 8 weeks later, and as needed, and that way you really reduce the maintenance and increase your success.
That brings up a good point, because in containers you have to be very careful with how much fertilizer you put in. And with Milorganite, you don't have to worry about burning, but with some of the other fertilizers, you could easily burn the delicate roots on the plants.
No, good point. And I never ever recommend over fertilization, but I have to say sometimes when I'm putting my containers together, I go, did I fertilize that or not? And I'm sure I've double dosed a few things and never had a problem. Not that I ever recommend that. You shouldn't do it, but it is very forgiving and goof proof. So for those of us that can be a little forgetful or rushing through a little fast, it's very forgiving.
So Melinda, we had mentioned Mother's Day is coming up, and we had talked about some of the containers that we were putting together with edibles. Or do you have any other notes for people when it comes to their Mother's Day gift, out there as far as, flowers or any other ideas for them?
Oh, you bet. So one thing is, if mom's a cook, maybe a container of herbs, or if mom likes to grill, put some of her favorite grilling herbs in a large pot that could sit right next to the grill, and that way she can harvest and use those. I always think, I call it interactive and dining, where you get your guests or your family to harvest their own things to put in the garden. Gardener Supply has this cool raised elevated garden bed called a salad bar. And what's nice is it's waist high. You can plant your greens, and since you harvest those regularly, you can get that or create one for mom so that it's easy to pick, if you could have fresh salads every night. So not only do you give her a garden, but something that makes her cooking and dinner prep much easier. And then maybe pots of small herbs that you can keep on the table for outside. You mentioned parties. What a great way to get your family and guests involved in the meal by having those herbs on the table, some snips that they could, season their own dishes. And then seasonal changes. For me, we're in pansy season here in the Midwest, and boy, fragrance, beauty, they just make you smile. And I like to leave my spring plants, like pansies, in their container, a small pot, and sink it in my larger container. So if I'm doing a mix of plants that will last all season and some that only have, maybe some seasonal interest, I'll sink that pot in. When it's faded, I can pull that pot out, and then I have that space to put the summer plant in, so making that seasonal change out easier. And then don't overlook summer bulbs, so things like dahlias and cannas and caladiums and elephant ears. If you plant the rhizome or the corm this time of year, it's going to take a while for it to reach its full glory, but by the time it does, a lot of your other plants are kind of weather-worn and faded, and they just steal the show. And so you get that double benefit, that late-season interest, but you get to watch it grow and develop, but you have beautiful flowers around it that will kind of mask that, early infancy stage of those summer bulbs. And then last but not least, I heard a great piece of advice from a fellow horticulturist who said, if you buy those perennials and your bed's not ready, pop those in, leave them in their container, pop them in a container with pansies or other spring flowers, and then once the bed is ready, you can easily move your perennial into the garden and then change out again seasonally. So you get double benefit. The perennial adds some foliage to that spring container, and then you get it in the garden where it will live permanently.
Yeah, and You had mentioned earlier in the show that the wonderful thing about these is that they just keep producing and keep flourishing, where cut flowers eventually will fade and you can no longer use them. And all the things that you're mentioning right now, you can go season after season, and some people, depending on where you're located, this can carry on for years and kind of keep going. So it's kind of a fun project for people. I think Mom would really like that. Thank you very much for joining. Oh, go ahead.
Thank you. I was just going to say, if Mom likes to garden, bring all the supplies and plant it together.
Oh, that's a great idea,
Absolutely.
too. Yeah. Thank you very much, Melinda, for joining us this weekend. How is the weather where you're at right now?
You know what? We've been it was 22 degrees last Sunday, and it's been 8 in the 80s most of the week, and
wow.
It's headed that way today.
Wow.
So I think we have summer for this week anyway.
Well, enjoy it. Are you? Is it one of those things that you can start your planning and your planting now, or do you still have to wait a little bit?
We've been just hesitantly getting those cool season plants out there, but having a few floating row covers on hand in case the weather turns bad again. So, it's planting season for a few things, so it's great.
All right. Well, have fun. Get out there and have some fun there. All right. Thanks, Melinda.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Always a lot of great information. Learn so much from her. I know you do too, John.
I remember planting in Michigan this time of year.
Well, rolling the dice at this
it'd be
point.
80 degrees. You'd go out, you'd plant your tomatoes, peppers, everything you wanted for your upcoming garden summer harvest. And the following week, it would go down into the 30s. Everything would freeze.
But isn't May the month where you start thinking about doing that at least? I mean,
a general rule of thumb in Detroit was after Mother's Day, it's safe to plant.
After Mother's Day.
But I remember having plants freeze first week in June.
Right.
So it just depends.
Okay, so that said, we do have some Facebook questions, comments we're going to get to, and thank you for being patient. Post your questions right there on Facebook or john@gardenamerica.com. Tiger, where do you want to start? I guess it'd be fair to go in order, right?
Yeah, let's start down at the bottom. And Rochelle had wrote a question regarding the grafted tomatoes that we had sent her. And in the package that we had sent, it talked about pruning after they started growing. And she was wondering more in detail about what we meant when it came to pruning some of the grafted tomatoes. So, John?
Well, you don't have to prune the tomatoes, but if you don't, you'll get a lot of green leaves to the detriment of production.
Right, because all the plants focusing everything on the leaves and not the actual tomato.
So if you prune out some of those side branches and keep probably 2 main stalks going up, you'll get your best production. So pick out 2 leaders and then prune out anything on the sides.
Okay, Rochelle, hope that answers your question.
All right.
Next up on the docket, Tiger?
Well, Rochelle, or Star had mentioned that her epiphyllums had been blooming right now, and she was wondering about what feed them. And I believe it's them now in bloom, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I would use a time-release fertilizer like Osmocote or an organic food like we were just talking about. Milorganite would be excellent.
And not a water-soluble one?
I wouldn't use water-soluble unless you want to use like kelp, liquid kelp.
Liquid kelp or something.
That would be fine.
Okay.
More of your questions and comments after we return here, Garden America, for this Saturday morning. I'm Bryan Main. Welcome. Thank you for watching us on Facebook Live. Again, 855-424-9825 or john@gardenamerica.com. Coming right back.
Having bug problems this season? Need an overall solution? Try Natural Guard Spinosad Soap. This combination of spinosad and fatty acids kills aphids, mealybugs, worms, caterpillars, and other bugs that plague your garden. It's also safe to use around your fruit and veggies to make sure you enjoy your crop and not those pesky critters. Find Natural Guard Spinosad Soap in a ready-to-use bottle or ready to spray for those large garden plots at your favorite independent garden center. Go to fertilome.com for more information.
Battling bugs inside and out? Then it's time to get more from Bayer Advanced and Lowe's Home Improvement Stores. Now you can buy Bayer Advanced Complete Brand Insect Killer for soil and turf and get a free bottle of Bayer Advanced Home Pest Plus Germ Killer, a $9 value. Complete works outside on your lawn, eliminating surface insects, including mosquitoes, in 24 hours. and soil insects for up to 3 months, while Home Pest Plus Germ Killer handles the bugs inside your home. Lowe's and Bayer Advanced. Get more from the blue bottle. Always read and follow label instructions.
Due to an upturn in the economy, Main Street Business Loans has pre-approved the release of millions of dollars in small business funding. Your business may already be pre-approved to receive up to $250,000. We've sent out millions of pre-approval letters. We see the economy growing, and our underwriters believe now is the time to invest in your business so you can grow faster and make more money. And we're prepared to give you up to $250,000 to do it. Your funds can be available in 5 days. There are no application fees, no annual fees, just quick access to up to $250,000. If your business did not receive your approval letter to get up to $250,000, call Main Street Business Loans Approval Desk now.
800-430-7570. 800-430-7570. 800-430-7570. That's 800-430-7570.
Got an old car? You can donate it, whether it's running or not, to the United Breast Cancer Foundation and save a life. They'll even come and pick it up for free. The United Breast Cancer Foundation has saved hundreds of women's lives through their free or low-cost breast screen exams. But now they need your help. The United Breast Cancer Foundation wants to save more lives through early detection by offering women free or low-cost breast screening exams. And donating your old car, SUV, or truck, whether it's running or not, helps pay for them. Plus, you get a charitable tax deduction. Help the United Breast Cancer Foundation save lives by donating your old car, SUV, or truck. Call now for free pickup. 800-245-0473. 800-245-0473. 800-245-0473. Call right now. That number again is 800-245-0473.
Non-attorney paid spokesperson. Could your house go into foreclosure? Are you behind on your mortgage payments? Does it seem like the bank has no interest in helping you save your home, and you feel like you have nowhere to turn for help? Then we have good news for you. Foreclosure Protection Services can help save your home as they specialize in foreclosure assistance. That's all they do. If you're behind on your mortgage payments, being threatened with foreclosure, have been denied a loan modification, or been the victim of a predatory loan, it's critical that you call Foreclosure Protection Services now at 800-670-2142. Their network of attorneys and their agents are available to speak to you now. If you're behind on your mortgage payments, Foreclosure Protection Services can help stop the foreclosure process. Call today before it's too late. New laws are in effect that may save your home. Call Foreclosure Protection Services now at 800-670-2142. 800-670-2142. That's 800-670-2142.
Do you have an old car sitting in your driveway? How would you like to learn a hassle-free way to get rid of it, help kids in need, and get a great tax donation in the process? It's real easy. One simple free call to our car donation hotline is all it takes. Call the Neshama Foundation at 800-721-6723, 800-721-6723. We'll come pick your car up for free and give you a tax donation for the full value of the car, running or not. The value of your unwanted car will go to help kids in need. It's fast and easy. Just call us and your car will be gone and on its way to helping children in 48 hours. And you get a nice tax deduction. Call the Neshama Foundation now to get rid of your car, help kids, and get a tax write-off. Call 800-721-6723, 800-721-6723, 800-721-6723. That's 800-721-6723.
Biz Talk Radio.
Welcome back to the Garden America Radio Show with Bryan, John, and Tiger. The phone lines are open right now at 855-424-9825. That's 855-424-9825. Or John at gardenamerica.com.
And, of course, besides the phone number you just heard and John at gardenamerica.com, we take your questions, comments right there on Facebook. You're watching us right now. We're going to continue to do that. Tiger Palafox John Bagnasco, I'm Bryan Main. Welcome. Thank you for spending part of your weekend with us. We've got a lot of questions, and noticing, as I mentioned to Tiger, a lot of new names on Facebook, so welcome.
Yeah, a lot of fun stuff going on our Facebook feed right now. So we'll carry on. So the epiphyllums, John had mentioned, osmocote, maybe a milorganite or some kind of slow-release fertilizer would be good. Now we're going to go ahead and address some of the grafted tomato plantings. People are talking about how they've got their grafted tomatoes and they're planting them now, and things to consider right now while they're growing.
Keep that graft line above the soil.
That's very important because a lot of people
know, right?
Yeah, a lot of people know to bury tomatoes because they want a nice strong stem and good production. But with the grafted ones, you keep the graft line above the soil level. And then the other thing that, as Melinda had mentioned, if you're going to do it in a container using a nice rich potting soil, ocean forest, recipe 420, something that not so much soil or moisture retaining potting soils. I'm not a huge fan of those because they tend to keep things too wet. But definitely something that has a lot of nutrients value. So read the package, look for things like bat guano, kelp meal, earthworm castings.
And you want good drainage as well.
And that's why I'm not a huge fan of those potting soils out there that say retain moisture and they have all these ingredients in there to try to keep them damp. Most people that are gardening are going to be watering regularly, and if you do that, you're going to end up overwatering your plants, which brings us to my next thing that I'm seeing on the Facebook feed, and it's Rick had mentioned he's starting some compost tea, and what do you think the best formula is? And for those of you that don't know what compost tea is, it's basically taking the compost benefits, all of those wonderful nutrients that are in compost, and putting it in a liquid form.
It's good bacteria.
And the way that people do that is pretty simple process of taking distilled water, something with not a lot of chlorine in it, and then activating it with some air. Some people use those air stones like you would use in a fish tank, or anything like that, and then having a tea bag and fill it with compost. That'll eventually leach into the water and then create a compost tea. The best way people do this is with the earthworm castings, though. That's the most common, biggest ingredient in compost tea is using those earthworm castings because there's so many condensed nutrients in that castings that when you put them into the liquid form, then you can now water your plants with it. Any other things on that?
Well, some people add a little bit of molasses, and you can also add kelp.
And why do you add the molasses?
The sugars get the bacteria going. The reason for using the air stone is you want to build up the aerobic bacteria, and they need oxygen in order to live and to proliferate, and that's the beneficial part of compost tea. You can also make a compost tea without the air stone, but then you don't have the beneficial bacteria, and if you use that, it's best to just pour it around the base of the plant.
Because
don't spray it on the leaves like
the other one you can actually spray on the foliage and use it as a foliar spray.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It takes about 24 hours to brew, and you can see the foam that's on top of the tea mixture. It lets you know when it's ready to use.
Just don't put your compost tea maker next to your kombucha maker. Get those confused.
Exactly.
What else do we got here? Oh, all right. Linda, a variegated lace cap hydrangea that looks like it might have mites, curled leaves, etc. I cut off infested leaves and disposed of them. Any other suggestions? Never seen this before on a hydrangea. I've seen this before on a fuchsia. So if it was curled leaves, it was probably more likely it was some kind of damage done by an aphid or other bug early on. If it was mite damage, usually that would be over the whole entire plant pretty quickly. And, like you kind of said, you had never seen this on hydrangeas because mites do get on hydrangeas, but they're not super common on them. Where right now, with all of that wonderful new growth on hydrangeas, since it is spring, aphids are attacking them like rampant. And so I would say keep an eye on it. you had mentioned a product.
In either case, use the Bayer All-in-One Rose and Flower Care. You can pour that around the base of the plant, and that'll protect the plant for 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah,
plus feed it.
Yeah, I was going to say, and it's a nice fertilizer that's in there as well. So if you're not a big person on fertilizing, it's already in there. It's easy to use product. And the nice thing about those two is because we were mentioning earlier plants that are sensitive to sunlight, and hydrangeas are, if they're in the wrong area, that since you're not using a foliar spray, they're not as susceptible to that burn. You're using the Bayer systemic. Right. You simply water the plant with it. They don't, a lot of people will get things like insecticidal soap, neem oil, those sprays. They spray it on there, and then they burn the plant because of that, where the Bayer All-in-One, you don't worry about that because it absorbs it through the stems.
Since we have listeners all over the country, we should mention where the hydrangeas you're referring to are the grandiflora types, because in colder climates they also grow hydrangea paniculata grandiflora, or they're called PG hydrangeas, and those do grow out in the sun.
I'm trying to follow up. Hold on one sec for me. All right, you guys discuss. I'm trying to see something where somebody went here.
Okay. So again, John, the difference between hydrangeas that Tiger's talking about and the ones that are in colder climates?
Yeah, I have one at home because Shannon really liked one that was called, I'm trying to think, it's Strawberry Ice. That might be the name of it.
Colder climate hydrangea?
Yeah,
okay.
But I planted one in, it was called Vanilla Strawberry? Strawberry Vanilla.
Just think ice cream.
Strawberry Alarm Clock. 13th floor elevator.
See, I know Strawberry Alarm Clock. I know what you're referring to.
But anyway, those will take sun, and they perform marginally well in San Diego. So I've got one planted at the home I'm living in now.
And it's doing marginally well?
It seems to be doing pretty good. We'll see how it does.
Okay, that's going to do it. Go ahead. You have something before we take a break?
When we get back from the break, we're going to talk a little bit more about grafted tomatoes and then also about that lawn problem that I ran into.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah, we're going to come back for hour number 2 at 6 minutes after, so post your questions, comments right there on Facebook. You can also call us at 855-424-9825 or John at GardenAmerica.com. Garden America Hour 2 coming up. Stay with us. Bryan, Maine, John Bagnasco, Tiger Palafox. Thank you for tuning in. Coming right back at 6 minutes after.
The opinions you hear on Biz Talk Radio are those of the hosts, callers, and guests, and do not necessarily reflect those of this station, Biz Talk Radio, its management, or advertisers. The information on Biz Talk Radio does not constitute a recommendation, offer, or solicitation to buy or sell any product or service. If you have any questions about Biz Talk Radio, contact us at 817-274-1609 or at biztalkradio.com. Biz Talk Radio.
For USA Radio News, I'm Hawaii's Kilauea volcano has unleashed an underground flow of magma that's causing a series of earthquakes on the Big Island. There were terrified residents as the earthquakes came one after the other. This Mountain View resident took cover under a table and prayed in fear.
Please, God, please make it stop.
The U.S. Geological Survey says a magnitude 6.9 quake hit on Friday. Students at Hilo High School panicked when they felt the large tremor. Experts say the biggest danger to residents is actually not the lava flow, but the poisonous gases emitted by the magma underground. Officials say there's a lot of magma, so how long the eruption will last is unclear. You're listening to USA Radio News.
Wayne Alaroot here. I want to tell you about Life Change Tea. It's a game changer. I started drinking Life Change Tea, and it sure changed my game. I feel great. As you know, energy is the name of my game. Energy is the foundation of my success. I can't tell you how much energy I have because of Life Change Tea. Thank you, Life Change. How does it work? Life Change Tea is a proprietary herbal formula, a gentle daily cleanse designed to rid your body of toxins, molds, parasites, and bacteria. Let's face it, Our food was different 60 years ago. Minimally processed, free of pesticides, nourishment for the body. Today, not so much. GMOs, pesticides, herbicides, and processing depletes the nutrition from our food. No wonder we feel run down. Just go to getthetea.com. Getthetea.com. Use promo code WARNOW and they'll ship it free. Get ready for more energy. I drink it every day. Not available in stores. Go to getthetea.com. Getthetea.com. Use promo code WARNOW for free shipping. You'll be glad you did. Getthetea.com.
The Trump administration says it's ending the temporary protected status for some 57,000 Hondurans. The country says it will try to help, but many, like Jorge Martinez, don't want to go.
I feel sad about it because dangerous, there are a lot of killers over there, problems and that, and we're just looking for a chance to be better.
A Connecticut court has thrown out the 2002 murder conviction of Kennedy cousin Michael Skakel for killing Martha Moxley. WCBS TV's Ethan Harp.
It's been more than 40 years since Moxley was beaten to death with a golf club in the Greenwich, Connecticut neighborhood they shared. They were both teens that night before Halloween 1975. The ruling happened because of a change in the Connecticut Supreme Court. A new justice is siding with what is now the majority, who believes Skakel's old lawyer didn't work hard enough to pursue a witness who might back Skakel's alibi, that he was away from the murder scene watching TV with his brothers.
This is USA Radio News.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers' rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-509-TERM. 866-509-TERM. 866-509-TERM.
The wife of a famous comedian who's been convicted of sexual assault has made the decision to stand by her man. USA's Chris Barnes explains.
A week after Bill Cosby's convicted of aggravated indecent assault, his wife Camille issues a statement in which she calls for a criminal investigation into, quote, the district attorney and his cohorts in her husband's case. She calls them a, quote, homogenous group of exploitive and corrupt people whose primary purpose is to advance themselves professionally and economically. And she also takes aim at the media for what she calls its relentless demonization of her husband. For USA Radio News, I'm Chris Barnes.
It was a solemn occasion as Secretary of State Mike Pompeo spoke at a memorial service at the American Foreign Service Association. The ceremony honored the latest two Americans who gave their lives while servicing our nation overseas. John Clemens reports.
Secretary Pompeo added the names of Michael Andrew Cameron, who was killed in South Sudan, and the name of Selena Nelson Salcedo, who was killed in Slovakia. He then spoke about his safety standards.
I always stop and ask the question, would I be comfortable placing my own family in this situation? That's the standard for evaluating how well we are doing for our people and how well we are doing in keeping them and their families safe. If the conditions aren't good enough for the Pompeo family, we will fix it.
I'm John Clemens.
For USA Radio News, I'm Wendy King.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-285-4765 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-285-4765. Again, 800-285-4765.
Welcome to the Garden America Show, the country's most listened to gardening program. This is your chance to join us as we talk about gardening, horticulture, landscaping, in fact, anything that has to do with the world of gardening. The phone lines are open right now at 1-855-424-9825. That's 1-855-424-9825 for your questions and comments. Or John at gardenamerica.com. And if you're watching us on Facebook Live, you can also post your questions and comments right there on our page during the broadcast. Now, here's Bryan Main, John Bagnasco, and Tiger Palafox on the Garden America Radio and Media Network.
It is hour number 2, 6 minutes after. Thank you for waiting during the break and being right there with us. Those of you left over from hour 1. This is hour number 2, watching us on Facebook Live. Questions, comments, you can also email John at gardenamerica.com, 855-424-9825. Our good friend Joel Ross called a couple of times during the first hour. An event happening in San Diego. John, he could not hold on, so we will give you the opportunity to give us the information.
Well, yeah, if you are in the San Diego area, up at the Vista Library at 700 Eucalyptus Avenue in Vista, California, there's a rose exhibition going on today. I think it's from now until 4 o'clock.
All day, wow.
So if you just want to see roses that you haven't seen before, or get some ideas of what to put in your garden if you're looking for a rose plant, there's a lot of people up there who know a lot about roses.
Okay.
I think I'm going to stop by this afternoon.
How could
Check
you
it
not?
out.
How could you not, John?
Come on now. What else
So
better things you got to do this afternoon?
That's on my list of things that I have to do this afternoon. So check it out if you've got some time.
And that's up in Vista, you said?
At the Vista Library.
Vista Library.
700 Eucalyptus Avenue.
Those of you in San Diego.
You know what I noticed
Talking
on
to
Facebook?
you. What's that?
Because I'm looking at your computer screen, and we have the different shots of us in studio.
Yes, which I monitor as much as I can.
Yeah, and when we used to just do the radio, obviously no one could see what we were doing, but I can watch myself along with you guys, and I noticed that I fidget a lot.
That's okay. My leg.
It's just the glitchy.
I've got shaky leg syndrome, so my leg is going all the time, and I got my pen in my hand, and I'm seeing all the little habits that I have. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But we're not afraid to do it in front of you. That's that's what this is all about. We're going to continue to monitor our habits, but we feel comfortable enough in front of you to do it. That's a good point you bring up, though, John. Absolutely.
All right. Should we get back to some gardening questions?
Absolutely. Facebook questions.
Before we do that, we did have I'm sorry to jump in front of you, Tiger.
No worries.
But we did have an email question from Stephen Simi Valley.
Okay.
Which I don't know what I was going to say about it.
I thought he was talking about
his lilacs.
I know what his question's about. I was just trying to figure out why I was jumping in front of you, but I think it's because it came in a while ago, and I didn't have a chance to talk about it, so I want to make sure we
not a lilac.
Not the lilacs. Okay. He sent a picture of 2 gardenias that he had in pots. They look like pretty good-sized gardenias, and he said that they were they showed some yellow leaves in there. And he said he had used HB 101 on them, and he thought that maybe they didn't like that. Well, HB 101 definitely would not negatively affect.
There's not a plant that doesn't like HB 101.
But it was hard to tell from the size of the pots, Steve. But the gardenias may be too big for those pots, so you may have to move to larger pots. But if you think the size of the pot is okay, gardenias do need an acid soil, and they always need additional iron.
So it's always about pH with you, isn't it?
So use cottonseed meal, which is a good organic acid food. And I would even add a little bit of chelated iron, maybe a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of chelated iron per plant, and just put that around the base of the plant. And that'll make a big difference.
Okay, Steve.
All right. So before the break, we were talking more about grafted tomatoes.
Right.
And there's a discussion between Rick and Kathy about the grafted tomatoes. And Kathy Spreen had said that she transplants hers into 1-gallon containers before she eventually puts it into a 15-gallon container to finish out its growth. And I was going to ask about that, John, because with the grafted tomatoes, if you're going to start off in a smaller container, As far as I know, there's really no benefit to that besides maybe being a little easier to handle initially.
I would go right to the big pot myself.
I was going to say I would kind of go right to the 15 and just leave it in there so you don't run any risk of any transplant damage later on. What do you think?
What are your thoughts?
I wouldn't.
You would do what she's doing.
I would do exactly what she's doing. Depends on the size plant that you have. You know, if you went to your garden center, usually you're going to buy a 1-gallon tomato to begin with, sometimes a 4-inch. And with that, you can go to a larger pot. But what we sent out are little 2-inch liners.
Yeah, that is small.
And the problem with taking that and then going into a 15-gallon can, it's not always going to happen, but we were talking about overwatering, Tiger.
Right.
And you've got that little tiny plant in that huge pot, and even though the grafted roots are really strong, it you know, there could be a tendency to overwater.
So the transplanting is not going to be a big deal?
No, especially with the vigorous root system. And it doesn't take long. It only takes a couple weeks to maybe fill out that 1-gallon container. So I think Kathy's doing a good job.
Right, Kathy.
You know, we were talking about, if we're talking about planting in containers, aside from grafted plants, you might think of the super dwarfs. We have 6 varieties of super dwarf tomatoes.
You gave me.
Which are made to grow in containers.
And,
what size container did you put yours in?
It's
5-gallon?
It's in a... Yes.
Okay.
And it's growing. I told you before the show, doing quite well.
A 5-gallon is too small for other
but not for
types
the dwarf.
of tomatoes, but for the super dwarfs, they will perform in a 5-gallon pot.
I knew it was a super dwarf and that little capes on. You could tell, you know, little tomato capes.
Well, that's what our Mighty Tomatoes have.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wait, do we have time to maybe mention why you would want to grow a grafted tomato?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of reasons especially for low maintenance and those people that have trouble growing tomatoes.
Well, the main reason that tomatoes are grafted is to prevent root diseases like Fusarium blight, Verticillium wilt, and nematodes.
You don't need to transplant them every 3 years, right? If they're in the ground, or do you?
Oh, you don't need to move the location.
Right, location, right.
Yeah, usually they mention planting tomatoes every 3 years in a different spot in your garden so you don't get Fusarium or Verticillium. Because once that's in the soil, it's there all the time.
Right.
But if you're using grafted tomatoes, you don't have to worry about that, or nematodes. And then because that root system is so strong that you virtually all the time will double the crop of tomatoes you would get. I remember a few years ago, we always sell the heirloom variety called pineapple, which a lot of people really like. But I grew some of those pineapple, and I had what I thought was poor production compared to my other grafted tomatoes. So I mentioned to someone who's a tomato grower that grows lots of tomatoes that we were going to eliminate pineapple because it was not a good producer. And they said, oh, it's such a good tasting tomato. I said, yeah, but you don't get production. They said, you know what? If it's not grafted, you don't get anything. So I guess a few pineapple tomatoes grafted is worth it.
Yeah, right.
I had mentioned before the break also that I had run into a problem at a client's house this week with their lawn.
Oh yeah, you teased this little story before.
This is a good one. So I'm gonna break into a little story, and I know John will pinpoint where things went wrong right away, but it took me a while. So we have a client in Mission Hills overlooking the airport. So kind of coastal, a fully exposed lawn. It's kind of a Bermuda grass lawn, just a mix of different grasses.
But a great view, right?
Beautiful view.
Yeah.
And so we took this property over for the maintenance end of it back in January. So kind of in the wintertime. And the lawn was doing well. We tested the sprinkler system right when we got on the property. We had great water pressure. And from then on out, it was just simple maintenance. And then
What kind of lawn?
Kind of a Bermuda grass lawn.
Okay.
And then just last month, things started taking a turn for the worse. So from January till about, late March, April, things were fine, and then things started changing. So then we went back to the irrigation system. We adjusted it. We found that we had kind of low pressure, and so we adjusted the sprinklers to be able to bump up the pressure on the sprinkler system for better coverage. And nothing was changing. We started fertilizing. We introduced Milorganite. We introduced Grow Power. We were taking all the proper steps to try to get this lawn back. It was starting to yellow out and just not responding to any of those things.
And this is the first time ever this lawn had done this?
Well, it was the first time for us because we had just taken over the maintenance.
Since your responsibility.
Yeah, and the homeowner had only been there since we started.
Okay.
We kind of came on new with the homeowner. And so I was out there yesterday, and I'm inspecting the areas, and I asked him, have you had any plumbing work done on your house recently to why the pressure has changed? And the only thing he can think of is that they installed a water softener.
Okay, stop right there
on his property.
Because we're going to take a break and finish this story, which I want to hear the rest of this. This is interesting. It is 16 minutes after the hour. More Facebook questions, comments right there on Facebook. John at GardenAmerica.com, 855-424-9825. Thank you for joining us. It is break time. We have what they used to call in radio messages coming your way. Bryan, Maine, John Bagnasco, Tiger Palafox coming right back.
Battling bugs inside and out? Then it's time to get more from Bayer Advanced and Lowe's Home Improvement Stores. Now you can buy Bayer Advanced Complete Brand Insect Killer for soil and turf and get a free bottle of Bayer Advanced Home Pest Plus Germ Killer, a $9 value. Complete works outside on your lawn, eliminating surface insects, including mosquitoes, in 24 hours and soil insects for up to 3 months. While Home Pest Plus Germ Killer handles the bugs inside your home. Lowe's and Bayer Advanced. Get more from the blue bottle. Always read and follow label instructions.
Having bug problems this season? Need an overall solution? Try Natural Guard Spinosad Soap. This combination of spinosad and fatty acids kills aphids, mealybugs, worms, caterpillars, and other bugs that plague your garden. It's also safe to use around your fruit and veggies to make sure you enjoy your crop and not those pesky critters. Find Natural Guard Spinosad Soap in a ready-to-use bottle or ready to spray for those large garden plots at your favorite independent garden center. Go to fertilome.com for more information.
Life insurance is one of those things that just about everybody needs, but few people actually have. Hey, if you die unexpectedly without life insurance, guess what? You'll leave your family with even a bigger mess. Life insurance will help replace your family's income. It'll help cover burial expenses. Life insurance can even help pay off debt like credit cards and medical bills. Life insurance can even pay for college. And if you own a business and you die, life insurance can help your business from collapsing. It can even help cover estate taxes. Life insurance has never been more affordable and needed. Plus, you can always shop around even if you have a plan and save some money. So call the Life Insurance Quote Line right now for free pricing information.
800-915-9658. 800-915-9658. 800-915-9658. That's 800-915-9658.
If you're suffering from hearing loss, stay tuned for a special offer from the makers of Listen Clear, a revolutionary hearing aid breakthrough designed by top audio engineers to fit your ear almost invisibly. Right now, you can try Listen Clear hearing aids absolutely free for 45 days. You can also qualify for free shipping and free batteries for life. Listen Clear hearing aids are so lightweight and comfortable, you can wear them all day long. They're practically invisible, too, so others won't even notice you're wearing them. And the best part is, you'll be able to hear almost everything, everywhere. So do something about your hearing loss. Call Listen Clear now to get started with your 45-day risk-free hearing aid trial. This special offer won't be available for long, so call Listen Clear now.
800-716-4650. 800-716-4650. 800-716-4650. We're here 24 hours a day to help. That's 800-716-4650.
If you're over the age of 50 and considering buying an annuity in the next 60 days, I have some important news for you. Don't buy an annuity until you understand the pros and cons of annuities. A free book to help you maximize your retirement income from television host and three-time author Josh Melberg has been released. This book reveals little-known truths about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms. Grab a pen right now because we are about to offer you this free book that unlocks the 5 little-known secrets we believe baby boomers and seniors should know before buying an annuity. Call 800-935-0752 now, and you'll receive a free copy of Josh Melberg's book, Next Gen Annuity Strategies Revealed. As a bonus, we'll also send you a copy of The #1 Mistakes Retirees Are Making with Their Investments Today, and a free DVD on how you can get up to 33% more income in retirement. Call 800-935-0752. That's 800-935-0752. Employees of J.T. Melberg Financial have the appropriate licenses for the products they offer.
Biz Talk Radio.
Welcome back to the Garden America radio show with Bryan, John, and Tiger. The phone lines are open right now at 855-424-9825. That's 855-424-9825. Or John at gardenamerica.com.
Thank you so much. We, I was going to say we're back, but if you're watching us on Facebook, we didn't go anywhere. We just played commercials. People in radio like to say that. We are back. Anyway, Facebook Live, the phone number 855-424-9825, John at gardenamerica.com. As we continue our discussions and questions, comments on Facebook, and Tiger's story about this lawn problem for the first time, and we're going to get to, I think you became sort of a super sleuth to figure this out, Sherlock, didn't you?
Yeah, definitely. Had to put on my thinking cap. Just to remind everyone, we have a lawn, Bermuda lawn, turning yellow, poor water pressure, but I'm fertilizing. I can't do anything to get it to turn around. So the one thing that the homeowner did have done inside the house was have a water softener put in. And so I said, do you mind if I go down and take a look at where they installed the water softener? He goes, yeah, no problem.
Yeah, because usually that doesn't affect the outside water. It
does not. When they installed the water softener, they didn't divert, and so the water softener was feeding the irrigation system. Oh, so right then and there, that's why our pressure went down, was number one, because in order for it to go through the softener and then out to sprinklers, we had a drop in pressure, which for a house, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you had checked the pressure of the water before that.
Right, and it was fine.
Yeah, there's no reason why it would change.
Right. And then the other thing that's happening is water softeners use salt as part of the softening process.
Right.
Well, plants do not like salt. And so this lawn was getting dumped on with salt water. And so that's why we weren't having any results from the fertilizing. There was no change in the lawn after fertilizing. And so anyways, long story short, people for your homes, if you ever have any plumbing work done, make sure it doesn't affect your irrigation system, because you can have some really negative effects. I don't know what we're going to do. This is a very large lawn, and it is on the verge of death. And, we're just going to, when they finally able, because the problem right now, too, is that we can't even hook up to any city water right now. The whole property is going through this water softener. And so we have to wait for the plumber to come out to reroute it.
Cap it off and then reroute it, right?
Yep, exactly. So that way we can get irrigated water with city water, and then we're going to have to fertilize. We're going to have to flush the soil with as much water as possible to get the salts out.
You have to leach it out, right? Because that salt's still in there.
I was also told to use, there's a lot of soaps out there. Jungle Rain is one. Orange TKO is a soap, but I was told to use a soap also, because that'll help with the leaching process of getting that salt to go down into the soil. I think kind of like what they would use with, the agave nectar or something they talk about, where you're trying to get the water to penetrate the soil.
Yeah, or what you want to use is saponin, which is yucca extract.
Yucca extract.
Right.
Yeah.
Agave nectar would bring a lot of ants.
It would bring a lot of ants. That's like honey.
But no, yucca extract is excellent. And I bought a pint. Was it a pint? Let me think. Definitely was no bigger than a quart on Amazon for, I think it was around $16, $17, and it said it would cover 5 acres.
Yeah. Easy.
So that would be the thing to spray.
To do, yeah.
Because it will help leach when you get normal water.
Water on there. So big problems though, but just the plants are all looking yellowing, they're burning, and it's a bummer. But it took us a while.
The other thing you might want to try is, usually I don't recommend it, but in your case you might want to try putting some gypsum because you'll get the exchange between gypsum is calcium sulfate,
right,
and salt is sodium chloride, so you get an exchange between the sodium and the calcium, and that might help a little bit, help neutralize it.
You know, I remember years ago we had a house and there was had a soft water type of thing that was installed into the house, and we had to buy salt a couple of times a month maybe and fill it up with.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, with the salt. So
that's what he has to do. Is he has these, and when he
big huge bags of salt, big granules.
Yeah, and when he purchased it, they said, "Oh, you might have to buy one bag every few months." Kind of a thing.
No.
Well, no, but then he
was
going through bags weekly of this material because he was just burning through it because of all of the water in the house. I mean, even if he washed his car, it would be softened water.
Salt everywhere.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a story. This was probably about 35 years ago now. We had a person who said that their yard didn't look good. They had just moved into this new house, and they had come out here from New York, never had a garden before, and because they always lived in an apartment in New York City. So they came out and they said that their plants were doing terrible, and they brought in a piece, and I said, well, it looks to me like they need more water. You need to water more often. And he goes, I water every single day.
Well, that's the problem.
And I said, really? I said, because these plants look really dry. He goes, no. He says, I water every day. And I said, you know what? Tomorrow I'll try to come by and see what's going on. So I went by his house. The entire yard was bone dry. All the plants were shriveling up. And I said, I thought you said you watered every day. And he said, I do. And I said, well, show me how you water. So he gets out his hose, and it's got the nozzle on the end of it. He sprays all the leaves of the plants and turns it off. And I said, you've got to water the ground. He said, oh, I never knew that.
Well, okay, so there's coming from New York, never had a garden.
Never grew anything before, right?
Just because that's the last thing I do when I water my plants in the patio is I turn that little to the cone position where it kind of mist everything.
Right.
And then I mist all the leaves after I give everything a deep water.
Yeah.
He was just that's what he was doing.
He was just shooting the leaves of the plants, the trees, and everything.
Wow. What else on Facebook before we go to the break?
To his benefit, there was no dust on it.
Yeah. No bugs.
No bugs.
Rick wants to know if he uses the compost tea, would we recommend using the HB 101 at the same time, or does he have to use HB 101?
Is there ever not a time to use it? I mean,
it's kind of two different things. I mean, the reason why you use HB 101 is it's
like a vitamin, isn't it?
It is. It's like a vitamin, and it boosts the plant's ability to do all the wonderful things that plants do, whether it's flower, grow, absorb fertilizer.
It would be like helping us get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah.
And starting our day.
Like having that cup of coffee.
Yeah, exactly.
Where compost tea is a true fertilizer. I mean, it has an NPK in it. It has the aerobic bacteria in it that John was mentioning, and it's actually feeding the plant. And so you do use them simultaneously. That's not going to be harmful.
You use so little HB 101 that a few drops probably isn't going to hurt at all. Definitely might help.
Right. So I'd say yes, you use them both. And I mean, the HB 101 comes into play for me specifically when I have plants that are stressed.
Yeah.
And it helps them come out of that stress. I don't really use it all the time on other stuff, only when I have plants that are stressed. But I could use it whenever.
It is break time. It is almost 30 minutes after the hour, 1/2 hour to go, so do stay with us. Don't forget to download the iHeart Radio app so you can listen to our podcast. You can also click that link on the newsletter that John provides, and we've given you that link on our Facebook page as well. The last podcast we did was roses, everything you want to know. Next up will be spring vegetables. We're coming right back.
Want a better looking lawn with less effort? Husqvarna's robotic automower is the effortless way to mow. Husqvarna's intelligent design allows the automower to maneuver around your lawn without supervision, even over tricky terrain and around obstacles. It knows when it needs to be charged and directs itself back to the charging dock. With convenient control options, the Husqvarna allows you to set it and forget it, even from your smartphone. Thanks to Husqvarna, a great looking lawn and more time to enjoy this season. Visit Mission Hills Nursery at 1525 Fort Stockton Drive in San Diego, or go to missionhillsnursery.com for more info.
There's more than one way to invest in your education. Investing in the right products, securities, and real estate generates secure and sound futures. What about an investment that retains its value? Consider college real estate. College real estate can provide housing for students and generate returns for their families. Through this special offer from Austin iLabs, you can download the free workbook from collegerealestate.com to see if this investment is right for you. Go to collegerealestate.com/radio.
I live alone and rarely have visitors. So when I slipped and fell in the kitchen last month and couldn't get to a phone, I knew I was in trouble.
Help!
I could barely move.
Help!
I tried calling for help, but no one could hear me. As I lay there, I couldn't help but think of my kids and grandkids having to go on without me. I was terrified. It took 8 hours for my neighbor to find me. It could have been the end of me. That's when I knew I needed Life Alert. With just one press of this button, I'm connected to the Life Alert Center, where I can get the help I need, even when I cannot reach a phone. With Life Alert, I'm never alone.
Call 1-800-414-1958 for your free Life Alert brochure. That's 1-800-414-1958. 1-800-414-1958. Call for your free Life Alert brochure today at 1-800-414-1958.
Are you ready to leave your corporate job behind and be your own boss? Have you ever dreamed of owning a business? Do you have $50,000 or more sitting around in a 401k? If you answered yes, it's time to invest in yourself by buying or starting a business or franchise. IRS code allows you to use money in a 401k to invest in a business with absolutely no penalties or taxes. At Guidant Financial, we've helped more than 11,000 entrepreneurs invest $3 billion in retirement assets into the small businesses and franchises of their dreams. So if you've got $50,000 or more in a 401k and you're looking for a way to start a business, call Guidant Financial now for free information and to learn more. Operators are standing by for your call. 800-570-6630. 800-570-6630. 800-570-6630. That's 800-570-6630.
This is an urgent health notice for all residents suffering from back, neck, knee, and wrist pain. You may qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you, but the deadline is fast approaching. Simply call the Health Alert Hotline now.
You heard right. You may qualify for a pain-relieving back, neck, knee, or wrist brace. These items may even be covered by Medicare or your private insurance. The Health Alert Hotline is your brace company. These specialized braces have been tested for pain relief. Call us toll-free right now to determine your eligibility and to learn how to use your private insurance or Medicare to minimize your out-of-pocket cost. Don't wait. If the deadline passes, you may lose your opportunity to get a pain-relieving back, neck, knee, or wrist brace at little or no cost to you.
800-306-1760. 800-306-1760. 800-306-1760. That's 800-306-1760.
We paid less for our Craftmatic today than we did 20 years ago.
If you're still searching for the perfect solution to a good night's sleep, call now for prices and free information on today's Craftmatic adjustable beds. And then decide when you see how little they cost. Rated #1 by consumers nationwide on consumeraffairs.com. Craftmatic beds come in all mattress types, including cool gel memory foam for up to 50% less than today's leading memory foam brand. Enjoy temporary relief of low back pain, poor circulation, nighttime heartburn, mild arthritis. You'll sleep better in a Craftmatic adjustable bed. So if you're still searching for the perfect solution to a good night's sleep, call now for prices and information. And then decide when you see how little they cost. Discover Craftmatic for less, up to 50% less than today's leading memory foam brand.
Call 1-800-316-5271. That's 1-800-316-5271. 1-800-316-5271. Call now.
Biz Talk Radio.
Welcome back to the the Garden America Radio Show with Bryan, John, and Tiger. The phone lines are open right now at 855-424-9825. That's 855-424-9825. Or john@gardenamerica.com.
And, of course, Facebook Live questions, comments. We are back 30 minutes after the hour. Do want to thank you for spending part of your weekend with us here. Tiger Palafox, John Bagnasco, Bryan, Maine. I mentioned after the show today, we'll be recording our next podcast, which will be spring vegetables, and we will post that on Monday as we continue. Are we up to date on the questions and comments? Or
Yes, we are.
Okay.
I'm just trying to load up a picture from the flower show that John was talking about earlier.
Yeah, up at the Vista Library, our good friend Susan sent us a picture of the old garden roses.
Thank you, Susan.
And for those of you who cannot make it over to the library, as soon as Tiger gets this picture posted, you can take a look at
Take
Facebook
a look and see what you're missing.
It looks like.
See what you're missing. Okay, what else?
Speaking of old garden, I got 60 of them from France. And those were, remember we talked about this a few weeks ago.
The border story.
Yeah, importing those roses from France, and they're all doing really well. A lot of them have come into bloom, but those are, for the most part, old garden roses, Chinas, teas, maybe one or two hybrid perpetuals, some noisettes. And those are the 60 that I got were all roses that for the most part were not in this country. So it's kind of cool to see them come into bloom.
Is there such a thing as the oldest rose in the world, or the oldest rose that we know of?
The oldest rose that is continuously growing is a rose that was planted in the 1500s at a medieval cathedral in Germany, and it grows up the side of the cathedral. So that's the oldest one that we know of for one plant.
Right, sure.
And then there's roses like in Tombstone, Arizona. I believe it is, if I'm in my old age not forgetting these things, but it's the largest, let's see, is it a Banksia rose or is it a Cecile Brunner? Now I can't remember. I think it might be a Cecile Brunner. But anyway, the rose covers almost an acre.
Wow.
It's huge.
And that's in Tombstone, Arizona.
Tombstone, Arizona.
Tucson.
Yep.
Tucson area. Okay, what's on your mind? Facebook Live or john@gardenamerica.com. We'll still take phone calls at 855-424-9825.
You haven't given us an update on your veggie pod and how your vegetable garden's doing. You said you were picking cilantro already,
cilantro,
right?
Yes, which we had
now,
this
week. Did your carrots ever come up?
They're up, but I don't see them yet. There's,
what do you mean they're up, but you don't see them?
Well, I see the tops of the
the carrot.
The carrot, yes. Yeah.
Well, that's the way they grow.
Well, I know that, but I also learned something else too. That again, my second time planting everything, the different things that I have growing in there: cilantro, spinach, lettuce, onions. That I could have spread them apart a little better. Everything's kind of growing into one, so I will take a picture and show you what it looks like. But everything is.
Well, you planted in rows this time.
I did plant them in rows. I dug the troughs.
But what you did not do then was thin. Thinning is important. And it's not just going on a diet, Bryan.
That's something else I've got to remember next year. I've got to thin.
That's right. What you do is you go through, and because when you plant your seeds, they do come up too close together.
They do.
So you've got to go through and pull out every other seedling so that you leave a little space between them.
Yeah, there's no space right now. It's just all green on both sides.
I know.
And you'll be able to, you can picture it.
People don't like to thin.
I don't like it. I don't.
The stuff's up and growing, and you just don't want to pull out something that's growing. The same thing with fruit trees. If you don't thin the fruit, you end up with small fruit rather than nice large
I'll go
fruit.
one step further. I don't like to cut anything back that needs to be cut back because it's growing and it's doing well, but it's also better for the plant to do what you're suggesting.
Well, it'll get bushier.
Right.
If you wanted to do that.
Right. I will get that picture for you and send it so we can comment on it, and you can chastise me next week.
Make fun of you.
For all the things I did wrong. Tiger's got that link up there?
Got it. Just did it.
Perfect.
So it's a pretty pretty picture of how they I mean, is this a judging? Are they judging
No,
these roses?
no, this
okay,
is
these are
just an
for show.
exhibition.
Okay.
You know-
Because they have them all in the vases like you would judge them, you know,
Right.
with one or two flowers on each stem and
Right.
all lined up. But no,
The
beautiful.
Heritage Rose Society really does not like to be judged. And members will rarely, if ever, go to a traditional rose show because they grow their roses just for the love of growing them.
Mm-hmm.
So this is an exhibition, and and the public is invited to bring their roses too, and you don't have to worry about being judged. Just bring them, put them in a vase, and
We do not judge you.
let people come and take a look at them. But old garden roses especially, because they don't grow like traditional roses. They don't have long stems like a florist rose
Right,
would have.
sure.
If you look at the picture, you'll see that there's kind of an old-fashioned elegance to the vase. It's like something you might see in an old painting. They look really nice.
Well, they have paintings actually behind the roses you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
And it just kind of shows that a lot of times, even if it doesn't directly influence art, you know, flowers influence artists in a lot of different ways. And, you know, they complement art very well because they have all the same colors and some of the same structures
Right.
and all of that. So, yeah, they did complement those flowers with some paintings.
What are you thinking of?
Oh, I thought this
Right.
portion of the show was sponsored.
It is?
This moment of silence is brought to you by Bayer Advanced.
Well, you had a look on your face like, I'm not here anymore.
Hey,
There was like 10,000 things going on in my mind at once.
And you know what? You just speaking of Bayer Advance.
Yes.
You remember when you used to do the Reed commercials and it was brought to us by Bayer
Right.
Advance? What's in the blue bottle?
What's in the blue bottle?
Do you know they're changing their name? Lance is going to be on the show in a couple weeks.
Right.
And Bayer is having a big name change. It's
The company itself is not going to be called Bayer?
It's not going to be Bayer Advanced any longer.
It's SBM Life Science.
Yeah.
What's it going to be called?
SBM Life Science.
SSBM Life
No,
Science?
SBM.
That's gonna say.
SBM Life Science.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, they're and a lot of their products are going to be shifting over to a more organic as well too. That was the one thing that Lance had talked to me about when
Right.
we were talking about the upcoming interview, that a lot of their products are going to shift over into a little bit more of an organic way.
And I think they're using the trademark bioscience.
Bioscience, yep.
So they're going to need a lot of, how shall we say, publicity in that regard to let people know what's happening with their company switching over from the name Bayer to Life Science, Bio Life Science, John?
Yeah, well, you know, they're sponsoring the National Convention of the American Rose Society, which is going to be held in San Diego this coming
Right.
October. And that might be, if you're listening in other parts of the country, that might be a nice trip in October.
What we say in the business is Bayer's going to need a lot of branding. They've already been branded now as Bayer.
I think they've got a lot of branding.
Rebranding, though.
Well, rebranding. They're going to have to spend a lot of money on the name change because
Absolutely.
I mean, they've been known as Bayer for a long
That's what
time.
I'm saying. That's a huge change.
Yeah.
So no longer
But does
will we
Bayer
see that.
mean anything?
You know, to most people, it means aspirin.
Right.
Bayer
but
aspirin.
But it also means a strong chemical company, kind of like
Right.
what would DuPont or
Which, in a lot of circles,
Monsanto or
yeah.
somebody like that.
in a lot of circles, it's kind of a negative thing because of chemicals.
And you know, the Bayer company gets a lot of undue criticism.
Right.
And do you remember when we went back to? Did you come with
Yes,
us
it
at
was
a time?
it was in North Carolina, wasn't
Right.
it? Right.
Went to North Carolina, and they do so much research
Yep.
into pollinators and bee health and
Yes.
things like that. You know, people think that, well, you use some of their chemicals that kills bees and stuff like that.
No, that's not. That's
But
not.
man,
true.
they spend so much time and invest so much into research to promote healthy environments that I was kind of surprised.
Yeah, I was. That was a great trip. We learned a lot from
Yeah.
what they do.
So I'm glad to see they're continuing in this direction.
I think that was the year you and I spent 3 hours at the Atlanta airport. We had, You remember that? We had a little dinner, kind of a little snack before we took off.
I remember we had coffee with Nellie Neal.
Yes.
The garden
You guys
mama.
talk about
Garden
that
mama,
all
yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
I love it.
But to that Atlanta airport's huge. It looked like we were in a shopping mall.
Yeah,
It's its own city.
Exactly what it is. And so that was in North Carolina, and then we went back to Scotts. That was in Ohio.
It was Marysville, Ohio.
Right. A couple of 2 or 3 years later.
Got a couple questions when we get back.
Beautiful. More questions. One more segment. That's right. 45 minutes after the hour. One more segment coming up here on Garden America. As we continue, be sure to download the iHeartRadio app to listen to our podcast. You can also click the link in the newsletter. If you don't get the newsletter, go to gardenamerica.com. On the homepage, you can set yourself up. We do not share your address or personal information. It'll give you sort of an insight on what's happening during each and every program.
Battling bugs inside and out? Then it's time to get more from Bayer Advanced and Lowe's Home Improvement Stores. Now you can buy Bayer Advanced Complete Brand Insect Killer for soil and turf and get a free bottle of Bayer Advanced Home Pest Plus Germ Killer, a $9 value. Complete works outside on your lawn, eliminating surface insects, including mosquitoes, in 24 hours and soil insects for up to 3 months. While Home Pest Plus Germ Killer handles the bugs inside your home. Lowe's and Bayer Advanced. Get more from the blue bottle. Always read and follow label instructions.
This is Joe Lample from Growing a Greener World. With the environment in mind, I recommend Milorganite Organic Nitrogen Fertilizer for all your growing needs. From plants to people, active growth requires energy, nutrients, and a balanced diet. Nutrient-rich Milorganite feeds the soil and plants for up to 3 months. The organic nitrogen is slow release and won't burn plants even during hot, dry weather. Trust the fertilizer, proven effective for 90 years. Milorganite, for better results naturally. Visit Milorganite.com for a garden center near you.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-569-3414. That's 800-569-3414. Again, 800-569-3414.
As a small business owner, there's one word that you absolutely dread: payroll. For small businesses, it's a big burden. You may think you're saving time and money doing it yourself. But come on, are you? Timesheets, processing checks, calculating taxes, a total waste of your time. Paychex simplifies payroll processing, saving you time and money. Submit your payroll online, fax it in, or call your dedicated Paychex payroll specialist. And you're done. Learn more at trypaychex.com. Come on, do the math. The IRS dishes out 8 million penalties a year. Make one mistake and you're on the hook. On average, you're losing nearly 1 business day every month doing payroll. That's time and money you'll never get back, unless you get Paychex. More than 500,000 small businesses already do. Call 877-649-5324. Trade payroll pressure for peace of mind. Call now. 877-649-5324. That's 877-649-5324.
My computer is so slow, it's making me crazy.
I used to have that problem.
Did you quit using a computer, or did you buy a new one?
No, I called Geeks On Site. They made an appointment to visit my home and showed up the same day.
You mean they didn't ask you to bring your computer to a shop? That's what happened when I called a support company.
Geeks On Site can go to your home or business or even repair your computer online. They have 24/7 emergency service.
If you are having problems with your PC or Mac, call Geeks On Site, 1-800-591-1682. Our friendly certified computer repair experts are available 24/7. Call now for a free diagnosis, 1-800-591-1682. Data recovery, virus removal, and maintenance for all laptops, desktops, printers, and networks. That's Geeks On Site for friendly certified computer repair experts, available 24/7 over the phone or in your home or business. Just call 1-800-591-1682. That's 1-800-591-1682, 1-800-591-1682.
Reason number 12 why you should own a ThermoSpa's hot tub? They require no attachment to your home's plumbing. Thanks to the ThermoSpa's unique built-in thermofiltration system that filters the water an incredible 144 times a day, you simply fill it with a garden hose and your water stays crystal clear with very little maintenance. Call to receive a free DVD and brochure and find out how you can own a ThermoSpa's hot tub for only a few dollars a day. Right now, they're offering 0% APR financing with approved credit and a $1,000 savings coupon, including free delivery, free chemicals, and a cash discount. And with models starting at $4,995, there will never be a better time to own a ThermoSpa's hot tub. So call now and ask about this limited time offer. Call ThermoSpas today at 800-956-7183 for your free DVD and brochure. That's 800-956-7183. ThermoSpas, hot tubs designed to improve your life. Call 800-956-7183 today to take advantage of 0% APR financing.
Biz Talk Radio.
Welcome back to the Garden America radio show with Bryan, John, and Tiger. The phone lines are open right now at 855-424-9825. That's 855-424-9825. Or John at gardenamerica.com.
All right, gang, this is it, our final segment as we cruise through Cinco de Mayo Saturday with you. Thank you so much for joining us. A big shout out to our Facebook viewers. I know we've got some things to get to. Let's go to a phone call, first of all, from Poway, California, here in San Diego. Lila is on the phone. Welcome. How can we help you? I think you have a question about HB 101. Nice to have you on with us.
Thank you. It's not a question, it's a comment.
Okay.
I wanted to let you know that I used just one tiny drop of the HB 101 in a big flower vase for some alströmerias that I had gotten at Walmart, and they're going on their 6th week. And they still look great.
Wow. So I guess for cut flowers, not a bad idea, John, right?
Well, that's one of the things they recommend is adding a little bit to your bouquet to help extend the life. But 6 weeks,
wow,
that is amazing.
What do you normally get, Lila, out of that without the HB 101? A couple of weeks, maybe at the most.
Yeah. That's right. Also, I wanted to remind John to look at his emails because I have 2 emails about the variegated plumerias.
Well, you know, I did check my emails this morning, and I did see one.
He doesn't have his laptop with him.
Okay.
He's got his phone, so it's a little different for him to kind of check things.
I know.
Yeah, and I have to tell you, Lila, that I was all prepared to give them to you, and you never contacted me. And
yes, I did. I emailed you.
Oh, that one I never got. But anyway, I promise that I will go look at them this weekend, and I will email you back and try to get those to you, assuming they're still there. I mean, I have to borrow my neighbor's machete
now, John,
that I can get through.
Everyone on Facebook and listening is hearing you right now, so you've put it out there that you're going to do this, so can't back out.
All right. There you go, Lila. Everyone knows I promised to do this.
Okay. Anything else we can help you with?
I think that's it for now.
Yeah, go ahead.
I know. Kathy Ray asked how many people were going on our trip, and nobody said.
I think it's 28 to 30.
Yeah.
Right around 28 to 30. And,
okay.
And a lot of people will be meeting from other parts of the country that have never traveled with us before, too. So that'll be nice.
Thank you for your phone call. We appreciate you checking in.
Thank you.
You got it. Do we still got HB 101 on our website?
We do.
Because usually after we have conversations about it, they start to fly out the door again. So.
Yeah.
Lila, by the way, was speaking of the trip that we're taking to England, where we're going to the Hampton Court Flower Show. Hey, do we have time for an email question?
We do. We've got about, I'm going to say, good 6 to 7 minutes before the show is over.
Okay, this is from Eileen up in the Bay Area. She says that, first of all, she said, good morning, John, Bryan, and Tiger. I have garlic planted and wondered if they need to be watered at this time. Well, I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. Eileen, did you plant the just the cloves, and if you did that, then the way that it's normal or garlic's normally planted is that you water it really good just after you've planted them, and then you usually withhold the water unless there's unusually hot weather until you see them coming up through the soil. If you put in plants, garlic plants, then you just water those on a regular basis like you would any other vegetable.
So there you go. Yeah.
Made perfect sense.
Do you have
I have a question from Lenore, who was asking about when should she thin out a lime tree? And if it's a Mexican lime or a key lime, thin that out whenever. Those things are so prolific and they grow so many limes.
You can do it all year round.
You can, if it's fruiting, start thinning right away. If it's a bear,
and they're smaller to begin with.
Yeah, they should be about a little bit about the silver dollar. Maybe a quarter, depending on what size you harvested.
Don't thin them out. You're going to have a lot of pea-sized limes.
And then on the Bear's lime, which is your kind of larger standard lime that you find in the grocery store, I don't necessarily know if you have to thin that one out as much because they don't produce as much. I mean, a good-sized tree will produce a lot of fruit, but for the most part, they're okay.
Yeah, you can thin them out a little if you want larger fruit, but I used to let mine go without thinning them, mainly because I'm allergic to limes, and if I touch them, I break out.
Okay, I think Laura's got a question on Facebook, Tiger.
Okay, hold on one second then.
Right there at the top.
How long does it take until you see growth on a blueberry, raspberry, and roses that have recently been planted? And what do I look for? So if she's dug up a blueberry, raspberry, and a rose and then moved it to another location, how long before you see growth? Well, right now during this time of year, 2 weeks?
2 to 3 weeks,
yeah.
Depending on did she say that she dug them up and moved them?
Well, she just until roses that I recently been planted. I thought transplanted. Okay, so I think these are just new ones that she purchased and now she planted them.
Yeah, it takes about 2 weeks for the root system to begin growing into the surrounding area. So you really won't see much for 2 weeks. And the HB 101 that we were talking about definitely should be used at planting time.
Yeah.
Because if you put that over just mix it up in a watering can and pour it over the plants, it'll eliminate a lot of the transplant shock.
Yeah, so 2 weeks. And then what does she look for? On the blueberries and raspberries, the raspberries really easy because you can notice the new growth right away at the tips of the branches and comes out small little green buds and then goes from there. The blueberry is a little bit more difficult to notice unless it's like an O'Neill or one of those varieties that goes dormant. If it's a sunshine, which is kind of a evergreen blueberry, a little bit more difficult to notice new growth. Basically, you just don't want to see it taking a turn for the worse, and you'll probably be happy. But on the O'Neill or those dormant varieties, you'll see growth, towards the tips. And then on the rose, you'll see the stems or little buds beginning to come out of the branches and stems on that as well. You'll see the little buds coming out from the sides.
Since they are new plants, if it gets really hot, like here in San Diego this weekend, make sure that you're giving them plenty of water.
Mm-hmm.
So that they don't dry out.
That's going to do it, John.
I just wanted to quickly mention my blueberries at home that I planted last year. This year, right now, they've got dozens and dozens of blueberries on each plant.
Outstanding. Hey, thank you for watching, tuning in on Facebook Live, and however else you hear us via streaming. That is going to do it. Until next week, we appreciate it for the entire crew. Brandon, Zach, Jeremiah keeping us on the air. Tiger Palafox, John Bagnasco, I'm Bryan May. Until next time. Get growing America. Take care. Be safe out there.